Hey everybody, welcome to the Season 5 reaction to Game of Thrones. That's right, Season 5, April 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Gordon, alongside my brother, the illustrious Dan Gordon. Dan, how you doing?
Doing great. Keeping it timely.
That's right. We're the most timely show out there when it comes to reactions and discussions, which brings us to the man of the hour, the reason we're doing these fun reactions. The man who has first started getting into Game of Thrones has now completed Season 5. Again, if you'd like to watch the reactions that we've done for Season 1 through 4, they're, of course, on the channel that we've got here, youtube.com/fracturedfocus. But coming in live from the great state of Nebraska, Matt Swinehart himself, Thrones Initiates. Matt, you ready to talk Game of Thrones Season 5?
Yeah.
Because this is all about you. If you're not, like, we can just...
Well, I've been ready for like a week and a half.
That's true. This is kind of on us.
We really want to make sure you were prepared.
Give you time to process everything. Season 5 was kind of a gut clencher. Let's talk about the most prominent thing that happened in Season 5. Everybody knows what we're talking about. Matt, go ahead. Bring it up. He's trying to think if he can come up with something
happened.
Jon Snow. I set you up for that. I wanted to see if you could do it on the fly. You failed miserably. That's fine. Jon Snow's fucking dead. Didn't see that coming, did you?
That.
Yeah. Did that happen?
Just when you think like you at least know the people that are going to go to the end.
Yeah.
The true fan favorites.
I'm actually considering not watching anymore.
I remember when this first aired, and of course, you know, all the reactions. Obviously, don't go looking for these because you still got another season to go before there's no spoilers for what's coming up. But when this happened over a year ago, all the YouTube reactions to people watching that final scene, especially all the women, literally had the same reaction, like I'm fucking done. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. Are you kidding me? And it's funny because Matt texted me, and I knew what he'd watched. He didn't specify what it was. He's basically like, I don't know if I can watch this show anymore. And I knew he watched Jon Snow get killed.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And it wasn't just Jon. At this point, you don't know the fate of any of the Starks.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what's the point?
I know. That's exactly what was going through my head.
I could almost give two shits less what happens at King's Landing. Whatever happens to them, they deserve it.
Yep.
But it's like, now the Starks are gone.
Yeah.
Who am I going to root for? The Boltons?
I remember the same thoughts going through my head because when Catelyn Stark and Robb and everybody died at the Red Wedding, your gut clenched, but you still have a bunch of the Starks left. You felt like they're the home team, but you lost some people, and you lost Ned in first season. You lose people that you really like. Jon Snow, I think, was probably the favorite character of the Starks, probably by a large margin. And now that you've lost him, I can't help but feel like that goes through most people's heads is like, why am I even watching this? Is there even a point? Is there even going to be any left?
Bring it home.
Well, is she even alive?
Remind me what happened at the end of 5 with her.
So she jumped off the wall with
with
Reed.
Theon. Yeah, that's right.
And that looked like a hell of a drop.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, we don't know what they jumped into. I guess we're kind of assuming at that point, or else they would have shown a death that they jumped into hay or snow or something like that, but we don't know. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's at this point, I have no idea. I just know she's with Theon. And I hope she's not with Child. for a number of reasons. Obviously, a fall like that's not something good.
Well, and not a baby, conceived of love.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely not a child conceived of love. Like, last thing we need is another Bolton. No, it was hard. It's like just that ending of the episode. I mean, at this point, every character is in peril.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Mother of Dragons is being Iraqi horde.
Oh, that's right. She's being surrounded by those hundreds of thousands of, or tens of thousands, whatever it was.
So, I mean, all the main characters, with the exception of Cersei, who made the walk back to the Red Keep.
Oh, the shame.
The walk of shame.
And then the mountain picked her up. I mean, the amount of hell she's going to let loose on those people, I have no idea.
You don't think she learned her lesson?
You know,
you don't think she's maybe turning
Are
over?
you kidding?
Yeah, right.
A lesson?
Yeah.
I had the exact same feelings going through my head. When she's walking through there and she finally makes it in the Red Keep, don't you feel a little cathartic, like where you're kind of rooting for this very sadistic, evil woman where you're like, now go fucking get him. You know, you kind of wanted to.
The purge is about to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, go tear shit up. Go. What was the name of that nun that just gave her so much crap that was just like?
Oh yeah, she's not gonna make it. I'm surprised she made the walk.
Yeah, man. Watching. It's kind of funny watching Cersei is almost always, it seems like when you look in retrospect, like the instrument of her own disaster. She's causing almost all of this shit. Like she caused what right from the first episode. I mean, her and Jaime conspiring to kill Bran after they pushed him out a window. Yeah. That instigated a lot of the Starks' pushback against them. That started the whole rebellion and the war. But then when it comes to this, I mean, she's the one that gave the what do they call it, the High Sparrow power to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like it blew up in her face.
You think?
A little bit.
My God.
Just kind of thought that thing through about 9/10 of the way. And then just like, the rest of it will just kind of.
I love that actor that plays the High Sparrow, though. I mean, he plays that character that's definitely like uncorruptible, really well. Like you really buy into that too. You know, we kind of skipped over this really quick because I wanted to jump into what you thought about all the different character arcs that happened throughout this. But you were texting me as you were watching the season that there was some awesome freaking shows in that. What did you think of season 5 overall?
A letdown.
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering is that the case because you watch the final episode and there's so much downfall that it kind of gut wrenches you? Because remember when you were texting me from season 9 when Drogon came in and saved him and Daenerys was riding on the dragon, you're like, this is fucking awesome. Like you were on a high right before that teardown.
Yeah, episode 9 was definitely the peak. But episode 9 is also, I think that's when Stannis had his moment.
Yeah.
What was that? Remind me.
He burned his daughter alive.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was episode 9. Because I can't remember if Brienne of Tarth killed him in the 9th or 10th episode.
Yeah, that's right.
Right after.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it might have been the start of the 10th.
My God, how much does it take Stannis to wake up? I mean, seriously, even after he sacrifices his fucking daughter, they still lose everything. Half the camp leaves because they're so disgusted by what they see. I mean, he's got to have lost all faith in Melisandre because she took off, didn't she? Before the battle.
Was it before?
She went back to the Night's Watch.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's at Castle Black right now.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, that watch. I tell you what was an interesting turn again. If you look back, and I'm assuming it's this way in the books, and they're mirroring these kind of telegraphing, parts of the show or whatever it was. It was really interesting to see as she's being tortured. It's actually the mom that changes heart and says, no, we can't do this, which you wouldn't have thought at all because Stannis is the one that showed so much affection and caring towards his daughter, and that was an interesting dynamic that they kind of flipped that. Yeah. And you bought it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think at that point, Stannis was ready to do anything to win.
Yeah.
And I think the wife finally realized that there is a price to all this.
Yeah. Yep.
And we haven't seen her since.
Yeah.
Or no, we did. She was hanging in a tree.
Yep. Oh, she killed herself.
Yeah, she killed herself.
Yeah, man, Stannis lost everything. I mean,
he was on a downward spiral ever since the attack on the bay. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Ever since his highest point was when he killed, was it Remy?
Yep,
with
Renly.
Renly. I'm sorry, Renly with the shadow demon baby.
Yeah,
and then after that. Everything was just, I mean, the siege on King's Landing didn't work. He tried attacking the north, didn't work. Yeah. It was...
I think it's interesting how in this they kind of, like George R. R. Martin, I've seen him talk about this in some interviews, and he talks about how, well, you have all these different faiths in the show, and I like the point that because obviously, I mean, he wrote it, but Stannis, when he actually talks about in one of the episodes, he's like, well, you've seen the things that she's done, right? How can you deny that her God is real? I mean, that's a very valid point. If people back in the Middle Ages would have seen miracles and stuff like this happen, that's very compelling. That could actually have a lot of people get them to believe in your faith. But clearly, whatever we're seeing, it's not what we think it is because everything Melisandre said was supposed to happen didn't fucking come true every time.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Well, like, what does that mean? Is this really a god? Is this magician? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, you can look at it as either as a deity or just as something that has
magical.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I mean, you have like the old gods, like the spirit in the tree. If you're looking at
the old gods from the Children of the Forest that the first men adopted.
Yeah, and then the Lord of Light, which we see with Melisandre. We see it when the little band that the Hound and Arya come across, where
the Brotherhood without banners.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're able to see these supernatural phenomena occur, and then you start associating it with we have a divine will that said, let's let this guy go.
Yeah. Remind me, before Jon Snow's untimely demise, which, I mean, God, I remember that just catches you. At first you're thinking he's got to survive this somehow. And then they keep stabbing him. And then I think to like really drive the home, I remember that long, slow zoom out where it shows him bleeding out. Like, it's basically he's gone.
Yeah.
Fucking accept it.
Yeah. What's your opinion on Ollie now?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Mixed emotions. I mean, he did see them murder his family,
right?
Yeah. Hard. Mm-hmm.
And then he saw Jon welcome them in. So I mean, Ollie's just
you can understand where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched what's the big red haired who's like basically friends with Jon Snow from the wildling camp. Morta, I can't remember his name. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who it is.
The guy who's in charge.
I know who you're
now.
talking about. I can't remember.
Yeah, for those of you watching, I'm sure you know. If you could put that in the comments, remind us. But I mean, he seems like a good guy. He's just kind of following what the wildlings were raised to do. But if you remember that scene where he's first introduced, where we're introduced to Ollie, he's the guy that slaughtered Ollie's parents. So he absolutely hates this guy that's basically becoming Jon Snow's friend out of respect. And again, they telegraph it. If you remember back his conversation with Sam, he's like, John's doing what he believes is right. Sometimes you have to do that even though other people think it's wrong. And
they really.
Ollie says, do you really believe that? And you can tell it's not what you think that Ollie's interpreting it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ollie, he just interpreted as, yes, you're right. I need to do the right thing, which is stabbing you 6 times in the gut.
Yeah.
So I'm following your advice.
Yeah. But man, there was a lot of. They keep building up where they don't have a whole bunch of little battles, which I'm glad they do because they'd be boring. But the big battles and stuff that they do, you got to see Daenerys ride a dragon. That's the first time that's happened in hundreds of years. That was cool. Drogon's not full grown yet, but he's at least big enough to barely get her in the air. But how cool! What did you think about the battle at with the dead at Hardhome? When they were going to save all the wildlings up at Hardhome, and then the White Walkers in the Battle of the Dead.
Okay. Yeah, no, I thought that was pretty epic. I guess in that same breath, I mean, John's the only one at the camp that's seen the White Walkers, so he knows the trouble is coming.
Isn't there one more? Oh, because the other guy didn't go with him. Yeah, that's his best friend. Did he? Or did he? Yeah. Remember what about his buddy with the long hair?
The long hair.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he did.
I think he was. I'm not positive, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, almost everybody else. But of course, you got a few thousand wildlings that also know too. But you're right. As far as the Night's Watch go, well, there must have been some that went with him, right? Did we see how many? It couldn't be like him.
Remember.
Yeah.
No.
But I remember watching that fight, thinking, my God, like the budget on the show must be so big because this is like a Lord of the Rings epic in size, and it's done so well. The special effects look so real. I'll never forget seeing that in scenes with the dragon, where I'm just thinking, they're really going all out. This is like feature-length, epic fantasy movie on a TV time frame, but you're doing it over and over and over, and it continues to impress. I mean, I remember watching when the clouds come over the hills, and then you watch all the dead bodies, or they're not dead, but the whites fall off the cliff, and then they all pile on each other, and then they just all get up.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when all the people that have been slaughtered then get up, you see, we just added this entire army to the army of the dead. This is at Jon Snow's exact fucking point, that if we don't help them, they're going to be added to the army of the dead. So I don't understand the Night's Watch ignorance, how they're just whiny.
Well, I mean, if you look at who they are, I mean, that's all they've been since the inception of the Night's Watch.
Well, it's funny because that's not actually what the Night's Watch was founded to do. Was not to protect them from wildlings. They put up the wall, and the Night's Watch was to protect against the others, or the White Walkers. thousands of years ago. That's why the wall originally went up. That's what the Night's Watch and all the castles were destined to do, was after the long night that they called it, where winter lasted for like 7 some years, or I don't remember. Again, for those of you watching that know this stuff, please put it in the comments, remind us. But it lasted for years and years and years, and that's when the White Walkers came. And it was a Stark that led the charge against them that actually beat them. And I don't think it's mentioned how it was done. But then after that defeat is when the wall was put up. We don't really have a lot of details on how that was done, because you can imagine that took a lot of magic. That's a huge 700 fucking foot wall that's like, what, hundreds or thousands of miles long.
Yep.
And it was prophesized that at some point in the future the long night would come again, and then the chosen one, oh that's right, there was some person that was like had a sword called Lightsbane or something that was able to like melt through the White Walkers' weapons and kill them. But it was some kind of fire sword or light sword. But it was prophesized that his return would come, and Melisandre is convinced, because that's basically from the Church of the what is it called, the Lord of Light?
Yeah.
That Melisandre believed that Stannis was the reincarnation of this person. That was her belief, and she's clearly come to find that no, it's not him. So now she doesn't know. You know, they're basically they know it's prophesized, and that's why they keep saying this is the army of the dead is coming. The long night is coming back again. But that's what the Night's Watch was founded to do. But again, that was like 8,000 years ago.
Now they just deal with the wild.
Exactly, and that's what they think that it's all it is. Because imagine a game of telephone where, like, they even talk about that on the show. Like, how many of them actually read the books and read the history besides Sam? They make fun of him for that. So if you've got a person-to-person conversation or a game of telephone going for 8,000 years, how many are going to actually know that it was about the White Walkers and this huge...
Typically, the guys showing up, they're not the cream of the crop. These
They used to be. It was a great honor.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to get any rapists, thieves, people out of the dungeons that they can. So it's a different...
Well, and I mean, even look at that scene in 10 when they all see a giant for the first time when he walks through the gate.
Yeah.
I mean, not just the guys that were on the wall fighting him, or those 6 guys who went in the tunnel, but I mean, that giant walks with all of them through. They'd never seen that. They didn't even believe that existed.
Yeah, they thought it was a kid's tale.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I mean, as far as I definitely understand that how the real purpose has been diluted over time,
which makes sense
because you don't see something, you have trouble believing it exists.
Right.
No, but that whole thing. I was thinking too, Stannis himself actually killed the Baratheon bloodline out completely himself.
Yeah, good on him.
God, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm sure they've got some cousins or some other family somewhere, but
or whatever, but
I'm sure there's a few
but I
bastards
mean, we
out there.
Brenly, Stannis, Robert, his daughter, Stannis' daughter. I mean,
yeah, you're right. The people that we know of are dead, so there's a good possibility that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, zero claim to the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that official war for the Iron Throne is basically. I mean, now who is there to upset? Because I mean, hell, even who else would be left? I mean, besides Daenerys.
From the Baratheon?
That would still, anybody that was fighting for the Iron Throne, because of the Ironborn never really were. There was the Starks, and then there was Stannis, and then there's eventually going to be Dany. But I guess, you're right. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know who Dany is. So,
well, Daenerys Stormborn, Mother of Dragons.
Dany.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Dany.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Khaleesi. Remind me, what did Arya do this season? Is this the season she was in Bravos?
Yeah. So she started out in Bravos. Met Jaqen and Haddah.
Yeah.
And then went into the town to live, and then they found, and then like he came out and got her or whatever, and then she was just kind of being like the handmaiden, and then the way that it ended though, she'd found that guard that killed her dance teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, Sir Meryn Trant.
Yeah, and apparently he was a piece of work.
They did a good job of making him very unlikable.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to have a good release because we're about to really hurt this guy, and here's why. And you're gonna fuck fucking love it because he's an awful, awful human being.
Yeah.
No redeeming features.
But I'm glad that she got the opportunity to do that. But yeah, she gouged his eyes out and then killed him. But no, the way that ended though, Jack and Hadad drank that stuff, died, and then she started pulling faces off till she got to her own.
Mm-hmm.
And then her eyes went white, and she's either blind or dead.
Oh, that's right. He said
point.
something along the lines of, unless you really become no one inside first and you try to use this
The masks.
the masks or the whatever the magic is that you become someone else, that it does something to you, and we see her basically go blind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he pretty much just said that wasn't your death to have.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because she was supposed to go use that face to kill the
It's like
the merchant or whatever,
yeah.
the skinny merchant.
Right.
The many-faced god was robbed.
That's right. He didn't get the body count that he wanted to.
It was not the right body.
Yeah.
The right body.
Yeah, not the right one.
Yeah.
Now, this is the season where Tyrion was now. Remind me.
He made it.
I don't want to give it spoilers.
No. Tyrion is over. He
killed his father. He was shipped overseas.
Yeah,
made-
Okay.
hand of the queen or whatever.
Oh, he did
Whatever
become.
you want to call
yeah,
his
he's,
title.
he,
yeah,
he has
yeah,
made-
because he saved her during the gladiator games or whatever it is, the arenas. Right before the dragon came in and
Yeah,
got
I
all
still.
those guys.
Whenever I think of the season, for some reason, I think about where he's first coming out of the box and he's grizzly bearded and he starts talking about how, do you know what it was like to push your pieces of shit outside of the box? Bear's like,
These
no, I
little
only know what
shit.
it's like to pick up your shit and throw it overboard. How the
that was those two together.
uh-huh.
In those first few episodes was great.
Yeah, how the mighty have
That
fallen.
back and forth. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then what was it? Oh, I loved him and Mormont when they actually go through Valyria and you kind of see some of the remnants of the Doom.
Yeah, and then everybody's got the dragon scale or whatever.
Oh
the
yeah,
disease.
that's where
The
anybody
skin
that
thing.
gets that, they usually ship them out there to go be with other people that have it. I guess is what they kind of hint at.
Well, I think it's fatal, isn't it?
Well, it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
started.
contagious.
Yeah.
Very contagious. This is one of the things that, of course, as soon as I see it, I start binging on Wikipedia for A Song of Ice and Fire to read up on that stuff. And it can be, or like, it can go to a certain. There's a few people that have found ways to treat it. It's very rare. Obviously, we know that because Stannis somehow has found a way to save his daughter. But that once it starts taking over your entire body, eventually it starts really messing with your mind, and it's probably going to be fatal. But in the meantime, you basically live as a madman, and that's when, before it even gets to that point, most people, they allude to, well, send him to Valyria to be with the rest of the Stone Men. So
this was the old style treatment to syphilis.
yeah, basically. Well, his stomach hurts,
Send
so
him
we know
away.
that there's a goblin in his belly.
Send him away.
You know?
Send him away.
What they did to lepers back in the day.
But I'll never forget watching Tyrion's face the first time he looks up and sees an actual dragon.
Yeah.
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 No, and that was cool. Like that whole story arc was nice to get some development.
Yeah.
I can't remember those. What are the guys with the gold masks?
Sons of the Harpy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that scene though, where they're all coming out.
Yeah.
That was insane. And then the old hand of the king, or not? Was he
No,
hand
not
of
the
the
hand.
king, or was he?
Knight.
Lord Commander of the King's Guard for
Okay.
her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Got ambushed
Yep.
by them, along with.
He didn't go down like a
Unsullied.
punk though.
Yeah, he went out
No.
fighting
Yeah,
like a
he was-
badass. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was sad to see him die in an alley, though, but
But yeah, he went down swinging.
I thought he might pull through, but
Yeah. Yep.
Because Grey Worm still survived, right?
Yeah. Grey Worm's not going down.
I kind of wonder in thinking about that. Like, is it just north of the wall that the people are coming back?
That we know of, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because obviously a lot of dead people in the wake, of,
I know.
and none of them are coming back yet. So.
It's hinted at, I think, in the books and in the show at some points, but they're just quick. Again, it's hard to condense everything from the books into just 10 episodes a season. But it's kind of hinted at one of the real purposes of the wall is it's infused with magic that helps protect and keep that stuff at bay on that side, so that the army of the dead can't come. I think is what's hinted at. We don't know that for sure, but I think that's my guess. Again, I don't know. But yeah, we don't see anyone else come back from the dead except for the people up north. So I think that's where that's coming from.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, right.
It's like whenever
otherwise there'd be an awful lot of them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Whenever someone in the Stark family dies at home at night, all right, they're turning into a White Walker.
Yeah, I know, right? God damn it again.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the wildlings all know to burn the bodies. That's what the first thing they always say is you got to burn the bodies.
Eyeballing Grandma, you're looking a little rickety there.
Yeah.
Nima, you think you need to go north of the wall.
Now,
We can't. I don't want to get surprised one night when you go supposedly peacefully in your sleep.
Yeah, squeeze my cheeks right. Get the fuck up there. You didn't. Now, in fifth season, you don't see Bran yet, right? He's kind of off.
Not at all.
Yeah, that's right. What about? Well, we already kind of a little bit talked about. Sansa had just man. She just goes from monster to monster to monster. Just when you think, because
no doubt,
we left at the end of season 4, like it seemed like she was starting to learn how to kind of play the game a little bit. Like Littlefinger was having an influence on, be aware of your surroundings, start thinking, start, making people your own. And man, that didn't work out so well for her.
Yeah, she came around just a little too late. It was
because there's nothing. I don't really know what else there is to talk about as far as the Boltons and.
Let's see here. The Lannisters. Jaime's daughter ended up.
Oh yeah, over.
Yeah. So they went to Dorne.
Yeah.
Jaime and Bronn.
God, I any scene with Bronn. I just fucking love Bronn.
I want to hang out with you, Bronn.
Yeah, that character is awesome. So it turns out that the one guy had some hot daughters.
Yep.
One of them. Oh
yeah, the Viper,
an Iron Fist.
Oberyn Martell. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The what are they called? The Sand Snakes.
But so yeah, they went to the courtyard. They tried to take her. That whole thing played out, and then at the end that was kind of sad.
Yeah.
No,
Jaime tells his daughter that I'm your dad. She's like, I always knew.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
And then starts bleeding from the nose, and it's like
you finally have some.
Go home now, Jaime.
No shit. You finally have an element of happiness for an innocent person, an innocent Lannister, nonetheless. I mean, basically, the only two innocent ones we know of are Tommen and why can't I think of her name? What is
she was only in for a couple of episodes.
For those of you in the comments,
I can't remember what her name is.
Yeah, but and then you kind of again they telegraph that the girl from Dorne, I can't remember her name either, that was basically threatening the Lannisters is pleading for her life, and you're like, okay, finally this is over. There's a truce. We're all good with the throne and Dorne. We're all good to go. And nope,
the kiss was awkward though.
Yeah.
You kind of knew something was up.
I didn't. Well, yeah, that was a little out of place.
Still hot though.
Yeah. Because what happened with
super hot?
I'm trying to think of a safe way to touch that. Does it matter anymore? Yeah.
No, but as far as for the goodbyes go,
yeah,
wasn't like she was kissing everybody on the lips.
Yeah.
But that moment that it came to that, it was kind of like, and then you just kind of hoped that he had everything under control.
Right.
The king then Dorne. But yeah, then you found out later on that wasn't the case. But the fact that the daughters were perfectly fine with it is almost creepy as hell.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, their dad got killed.
This is our plan all along.
Yeah.
Well, even Bronn kind of talks about people from Dorne, all they want to do is fucking fight. They're really feisty. And so when you have a king that looks like he's doing a good job, he even says, I think sometime in that season, if what Dorne did was up to the people, then we'd be at war all the time or whatever. I want peace for my people. They're like children. We need to watch over them. And so you can tell that the people are revolted. I mean, they kind of show it in a small aspect, probably based off of budget and a few handful of people. But even when they kill the king, aren't there even guards that are just standing there not doing anything? They're like, no, the country's pissed. They want to go to war.
They haven't killed the king yet.
Not that king. I was talking about. God damn it.
Last I saw him, he was on the dock saying goodbye
Yep.
to his son and future daughter.
I was talking about a different king
Okay.
that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah. That's
So
fine.
remember, Vala Morghulis, all men must die. I didn't say when it happens or why. Moving along.
You know what? The fact that we made it through 5 seasons
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
for you to do this.
Without a single. Or you know
for
what?
someone to mess up.
Or am I just messing with your head? And he's the one
that
that
could
actually
be.
ends up being on the Iron Throne. You don't know.
That could be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Those are kind of the big the character arcs. Is there anybody else I'm not thinking of from season 5? Anything else big you guys want to go over?
Well, let's see.
I made some notes here.
We've-
I feel like there's something we're missing.
So we've touched on the High Sparrow, his cadre of crazies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was kind of cool though to see that they brought that kid back from season 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a Lannister.
Cersei's cousin.
There was the Cup Boy.
Yeah.
The one who was with
For
him
the
when
king?
Yeah, when Robert died.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and he's like bulky
Guess,
now.
yeah,
too.
that kind of clears up the fact that he probably wasn't poisoned.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if Cersei had to walk back, I mean, the queen's still in prison for the sparrows, right? And so is
Yeah, Marjorie
and so is Lawrence.
Yep. The Tyrells, both of them.
And Tommen has clearly become this very. I remember when you're watching Tommen at first, you're thinking, finally, he's a good guy. He's going to be a good king. But
Very malleable.
yeah, Varys even says we need someone with a stronger hand than Tommen, though, but more gentle and more compassionate than what we had with some of these other. But Stannis, I think.
Well,
is what he
yeah,
said.
I thought they were trying to get his uncle to be hand of the king, but he went back to.
I think he still is hand of the king. He
Wherever
just
the
went back to
Lannisters are
Casterly
from.
Rock, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it said the king can send for
So-
me if he needs me. Yeah.
yeah. If he shows up, that'd be interesting. So,
Well, dude,
and then we still don't know what happened to Blackfish.
that's true.
He hasn't reappeared
Keep
since
watching.
season 3. No, that's pretty much a big thing.
Yeah, I think those were the big things for
I
the
really
season.
don't want to watch season 5.
Season
Is it
6.
season 5 or season 6?
Season
It'll be
6.
season 6.
The
Six.
herd's getting a little thinned out, but that just shows you're getting closer to
It
the
is.
finish line. Well, here's what's cool.
Eh.
Remember, I've told you this every season so far, and don't get me wrong, there's highs, lows. You feel different ways about different seasons, but season 6 is awesome.
What are your hopes for
We'll
season
see.
6, man?
Uh-huh.
I'm hoping it's all a coma dream. Brands.
From of
And
an
everybody's back and it's happy.
it's an autistic child looking at a snow globe. Is that what you're?
I'm going to tell you.
Rosebud. Turns out to be the Citizen King of our generation.
man.
I'm going to tell you right now, you can call this a spoiler, with certainty, when we do the season 6 reaction, you're going to eat your words and say, you were fucking right. Because you are going to
That I
now
was
catch
right?
up. No, you're going to say that I was right. You're right. I messed that up.
You were right, man.
Dude, you should have let that go. That
Thank
would have
you.
been baked
Thank
into the
you.
video, and then you could have used that for the next reaction. You're going to
I
freaking.
can't hang that over you.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna love it, and you're gonna be caught up with the rest of us, ready for the new episodes that airs at June or July. I think it's July.
Summer.
Yeah,
know, summer.
in the summer.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited to watch the trailer.
uh-huh.
See what kind of spoilers I can get from that because I haven't even watched the season
Oh, that's
6
right.
trailer.
Yeah, we started doing that at the end of last season 2. We end the show with actually a trailer of the next season 2. Well, is there anything else you can think about that you want to go over season 5? And I know it ended on a sour note, but from the text messages I was getting from you as you were watching the rest of the season, it seems like you really liked it up until that kind of gut check at the very end. But what would you rate season 5 at as far as in the
How many-
order of your favorite seasons
How many
so far?
how many prunes?
How many? Well, we need to save the prunes.
yeah. That's one for movies.
I guess looking back on it after I got over the initial shock, which is probably a good thing I didn't do a reaction for a week and a half.
Well, that's why most of the instant
It's not my
reactions are
least
very
favorite.
sour. They're very negative because you just
Yeah.
feel like you lost when someone you really cared about. But go ahead, sorry. What?
It's not my least favorite, but it's not the best season either. I still really like 4
Yeah, I was gonna say 4 is your favorite, isn't it?
so far. And if 6 shits the bed, then I guess 7 and 8, I can see what you guys talk about.
I can't wait to watch your season 6 reaction. That's going to be great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us know of obviously the number of facts that we missed or the names that we missed. Anything that you can do to help us out, we love. Please don't put anything in the comments that might spoil Matt on season 6. And just to be safe, Matt, don't watch any of the comments until you've already watched season 6 and you're caught up on everything. Then we can talk about everything, no holds barred, go into a whole bunch of history stuff we might have missed. It's going to be really
talk
fun.
about a king that got killed.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
I was talking about Robert Baratheon. I got confused.
Yeah.
And
Going
I
back
was
to
like,
season 1.
oh, season 5. Right. I was
Yeah.
thinking 1, and you can see the 1 and 5 are really close on your hand. So, let us know what you think about season 5. If you'd like to watch along with us, rewatch the show, and then comment on season 6. We'll do that reaction probably in the next couple of weeks. Again, don't forget you can watch us on youtube.com/fracturedfocus. And remember that we post regular episodes of the show where we do a topic of the show each day of the week, talking about geek culture and nerd news Monday through Thursday, and try to entertain you with our semi-witty banter and our incessant rambling. But with that being said, here's a look at season 6 of Game of Thrones.
I thought he was the man to lead us through the long night, but I was wrong.
Do you like games, little man?
You would spill blood in this holy place. The gods won't mind. They spill more blood than the rest of us combined.
Who are you?
No one.
A girl has been given a second chance. There will not be a third.
That's all I think about. What was taken from me.
I know what happens.
There's no hiding from this. We have to fight.
Stand at the head of our army where you belong. Show them what Lannisters are. What we do to our enemies.
The real war is between the living and the dead. And make no mistake, the dead are coming.
Dragons do not do well in captivity.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.